If we look at the product lineup, the color code of each label corresponds to a specific glue. Dark blue will be your LIONGRIP 1000, which is your basic general purpose white glue. The yellow to red label represents the LIONGRIP 3000, which is the yellow aliphatic glue. The green label product, LIONGRIP 5000, is your high performance wood adhesive for hardwoods. And last is the middle blue label, that is your LIONGRIP 2000 Type 2, which is a moisture resistant adhesive. If we look at the specifications and suggested uses of each product, you will notice that every product have a solid content of anywhere between 44% and 51%, which are standard solid contents for good performing adhesives. Viscosities will range between 4,500 and 7,000 in viscosity. These viscosities are well adapted for application either by glue bottle, by pasters, or by glue rollers or automated glue applications. These viscosities also have sag-resistant properties, which mean that the adhesive will not drip or will drip down the vertical surfaces. If we look at the block shear results, some adhesives will give values that are higher. Here at Tritex, we always evaluate our block shear results when we bond two pieces of concrete together, which is actually much stronger than the wood and actually allows us to go get the maximum value of the adhesive. So if we look at the LIONGRIP 1000, the block shear results are 3,500 pounds per square inch, the LIONGRIP 3000, 3,500, and the stronger products being the LIONGRIP 5000 and 2000 will achieve values of 4,500 psi. Adhesion to hardwoods, the LIONGRIP 1000 and 3000 are very capable products. They will give adhesion with values of 3.5 on 5, while the LIONGRIP 5000 and 2000 will give values of 4 to 5 on 5. The suggested uses for all four adhesives are basically your general woodworking assemblies, your edge and face gluing for hardwoods and softwoods, and finger joining, hot press veneering, and RF gluing. All are very well adapted and will cure very well in these processes, which are accelerated by heat. The LIONGRIP 1000 is a general purpose woodworking adhesive, as I mentioned, and on a performance standpoint, it's an adhesive that has a strong wet tack coming out of the rollers, which will give you basically fast gripping action and less slippage in the clamp carriers. What benefit people will usually see from this is an increase in productivity and a lower reject rate when panels are coming out of the press. Your block shear values are nice and strong at 3,500 psi. These means that they are robust and the glue lines are durable. You will have lower rejects in production, and you will also have the benefits of lower finishing costs due to rejects in production. For the gap filling properties, LIONGRIP 1000 does have good properties of gap filling and has a fair amount of starch in there to keep the glue joints from caving in. The LIONGRIP 1000 is a very good adhesive as a general purpose adhesive in the cabinetry and furniture market segments, and it can also consolidate often many adhesives since it has a nice forgiving open time and close assembly time, but develops a good strong wet tack quickly out of the rollers. For the LIONGRIP 3000, that is the yellow aliphatic glue, basically it's an adhesive that is very similar to your LIONGRIP 1000. The basic difference between aliphatic resins and general purpose woodworking emulsions is that they're a little harder in respect to glue line hardness, and they're a little faster in the press cycles. So basically a little faster, a little harder glue line, but they don't have the open time and the forgiveness of a general woodworking adhesive. So usually cabinet manufacturers and furniture manufacturers that want to go a little quicker, want to glue their panels in presses a little faster, will have recourse to a yellow aliphatic adhesive. The LIONGRIP 5000 is probably the best product you have in your product line right now for overall adhesion. So this is a formulation that is high solids and has a lot of post-add ingredients that make it extremely resilient and that makes it sand itself very well in the finishing process. and will give you very high block shear values on hardwoods. It is by far the best product that you'll have for edge gluing and face gluing of hardwood and softwood panels. This is a strong and robust adhesive. It also can be applied at 12 degrees Celsius in plants, so it makes it also very versatile for plants in Eastern Canada where sometimes temperatures are fairly low when they start gluing in the morning or in the later shifts in the day. So the advantages of this formula are definitely superior adhesion characteristics, much better and deeper wood penetration, and very fast gripping action in the press cycles. The next adhesive of interest is your LIONGRIP 2000. This is your moisture-resistant glue. For us, these are better known as self-cross-linkers in the industry, which means that they are pre-catalyzed systems that once they start curing at room temperature, at ambient air, the cross-linking effect and water resistance will start building with time. These adhesives are commonly used when you do need moisture resistance, and that would be the case where you would want to do finger joining for interior moldings. They always must pass type 2 water resistance test, ASTM. Or if somebody would want to make an edge-glued butcher block board, usually they'll use a type 2 type of adhesive. The other applications where they're used, not necessarily for their water resistance, but for the fact that they cure very well in heat-assisted processes, and that would be either for hot pressing veneers or for edge gluing or face gluing and radio frequency pressing for edge glued and face glued panels. Cross-linking adhesives function very well in these applications. And this would be probably a good area of your sales representative to take a look. While many cabinet manufacturers do use a lot of general purpose adhesive, in many cases they will have a small press in the plant where they will hot press veneers, special wood veneers for kitchens and cabinets. So it's always a good thing to keep a good eye on these applications. Last but not least, I wanted to mention that it's always very important when we are gluing wood in plants. It's always important to take into consideration that for gluing process to go very well, there are certain parameters that must always be respected, and it's always a good thing to remember them. And this is kind of a checklist that I'd like you people to take a look at. And what I'd like to mention is that for all gluing process to go extremely well, it's always important to bring in the wood and to temper it in the plant 3 to 5 days prior to preparation. Wood humidity should always be between 5 and 8% before the gluing process takes part, and it's always important also that the pieces of wood not vary plus or minus 2% between both pieces. That would mean we would be gluing panels that would not have the same absorbency rate, and adhesive could either wick in one surface more than the other. Wood should always be glued within 24 hours of the preparation, because after that, wood will have a tendency to oxidize a bit, and that reduces the penetrating effect of the adhesive. When we're edge gluing, surfaces must always be very square in preparation, and the surface must also be rough. It's very important not to glaze a surface. We must expose the fibers either through rough sanding or through knife preparation. We want those fibers nice, loose, and ready to accept adhesive. The other thing that's very important, it's always important to make sure that the clamps, that proper pressure is applied to wood, and it's not the same pressure for hardwood and softwoods. For hardwoods, it's always recommended to press at 225 psi. Question of applying enough pressure to make sure pieces of wood that have slight deflections are brought in nice and straight and tight one against another. For softwoods, 165 pounds of pressure per square inch is enough. That will straighten the wood and will allow the gluing process to take place. Applying more pressure on a softwood would just evacuate more adhesive and could possibly reduce the overall adhesion and weaken the bond. Always important that once everything has been glued and taken out of the presses, light machining should be performed only after 3 hours, and final finishing should be done only 24 hours after the glue process has taken place. And the reason being is when we introduced an adhesive in the edge gluing and face gluing process, the wood will swell where the adhesive is applied at the actual glue joint. And if this is planed too quickly, further in the drying process, that swelling will cave back in, and that will give you the caved-in glue lines, and which is responsible for most of the issues of surfaces that furniture manufacturers have, is they just plane too quickly and have those apparent glue lines that are not acceptable in the industry.